And the big story on Action News is the growing calls for action after a gunman opened fire inside the house of worship outside of San Diego.
Now, police say yesterday's attack was carried out by a 19-year-old who was taken into custody minutes later. Authorities say the shooting was carried out with an assault-style rifle. The congregation at Chabad of Poway Synagogue was celebrating the final day of Passover when the gunman stormed in. 60-year-old Lori Gilbert was killed. 3 others were injured, including a rabbi and a young girl. Investigators say the shooter's gun may have malfunctioned. They also say the 19-year-old left an open letter online referencing last year's Tree of Life Synagogue massacre in Pittsburgh. In that letter, the suspect also claimed to have set fire to a nearby mosque last month.
Now, the rabbi injured in the deadly shooting has a nephew who is from our area. He's asking those around him to combat the hateful attack with acts of love and compassion. Action News reporter Trish Hartman spoke to the rabbi's nephew, and she has more now from University City.
Well, Sarah, today we not only heard from that rabbi in California about the terrifying attack on his congregation, but we also heard from his nephew who lives here in Philadelphia, who is now encouraging Jewish students to take action.
May you send your help from the sanctuary.
Students prayed at the Drexel Chabad House on Bering Street one day after a deadly shooting at Chabad Poway in Southern California.
It was right after Passover ended, and people had, their phones and saw the news reports.
The violence hit especially hard here at Drexel Chabad. Rabbi Chaim Goldstein is the nephew of Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein, who was shot and injured during Shabbat service.
I know him just as a beacon of light and always pumping goodness and positivity, which is incredible even after being attacked like that.
Yisrael Goldstein spoke one day after the shooting, after undergoing surgery on his hands and losing his index finger.
Here is a young man standing with a rifle, pointing right at me. And I look at him. He had sunglasses on. I couldn't see his eyes. I couldn't see his soul. My granddaughter, 4.5 years old, sees her grandpa with a bleeding hand, and she sees me screaming and shouting, "Get out, get out!" She didn't deserve to see her grandfather like this.
Back at Drexel, Rabbi Goldstein and his wife Musia are encouraging students to perform good deeds and acts of charity in light of the recent attacks.
It's just a beautiful thing to see that students, even though it does hit home, and especially for us with it being our family, it's even more important to say, you know what? This has happened, but we're going to show the world that love is stronger than hate.
Even through hardships and horrible events that occur, that we can still come together and regardless of anything, just come together, pray, and hope for, and really bring light into that darkness.
Now, the Drexel students we spoke with say they are in the process of planning a mega Shabbat for May 31st. They are hoping that hundreds of people will come together to pray and eat, and especially after recent events, they hope to see some new faces there as well. Reporting live at Drexel University, Trish Hartman, Channel 6 Action News.